Okay. Good day, friends. My name is Omar Rodriguez. Now, to continue with our group discussion, group presentation, I'm going to talk about the importance of financial management to stakeholders. The previous presenter talked about the different stakeholders within the school system. Sorry. So now in my presentation, I'm going to talk about the relevance or the importance to the stakeholders if finances are properly managed, or what are the implications if finances are mismanaged. Okay, so just a quick recap. Financial management ensures that the administration and management team are able to manage the budget in a better manner and make informed decisions related to the school budget. So better management of school finances means increased student achievement. So that's the bottom line of my presentations. But a while ago, so there's different stakeholders. So we're going to discuss the importance of financial management to each stakeholder, right? The first, okay, stakeholder, the principal. Your principal have different job descriptions. Okay, as a manager of the school building, okay, both to the curriculum and student activities. Okay, now it comes to a cost, right? That's why if we keep on changing curriculum, proves costly. So intellectual rights, okay, property rights. So you need to purchase curriculums if there's changes. Student activities, not only inside the classroom, but also field trips, educational trips. Okay, cost money. Supplies and materials. Okay, of course, right? In order for us to teach, we need supplies and materials. Okay, site-based committees. It comes to a cost. Support personnels, not only teachers, but also clean-up crews, secretaries, right? Other support personnels. Building and ground maintenance. Okay, professional development. Okay, a well-funded school, okay, is capable of, okay, conducting, okay, many professional development. So, and it comes to with a cost, right? When you bring in experts, right, resource speakers, you have to pay them. So in this, I guess this is the most important part, ensure salaries for employers, one of the most important part, right, aside from supplies and materials for students, the salary of its employees. Okay, no one works for free, right? We need to survive as well. So if a principal is able to manage the school, fiscally manage school properly, okay, the school should be able to operate properly. So fiscal management is not only as part of his job or her job as a manager of the school, but also have a serious ethical considerations, right? Budgeting, money does not grow from trees. Okay, in public setting, it comes from taxpayers. In private organization, private schools, it comes from investors. So, so as such, principals should have to consult others before making a financial decisions. So when you do budget planning, okay, the principal, okay, is not doing it alone. Okay, it involves committees. Okay, next, for teachers. Okay, so as an educator or as an individual, I can highlight enough the importance of not having financial stress. When we are paid reasonably and on time, it helps in our well-being and performance. So the teachers are able to focus on their primary job, which is teaching and classroom management, able to implement lessons and activities without financial worries. Okay, materials come with a cost, right? If you are well funded, you're able to deliver your lessons with proper materials or supplies. Utilize school or outside funding for lessons, activities, and school events without utilizing own budget. So in some schools, like in my school, although we are a public organizations, we have a partnership board. So we can tap into that resources, okay, to their budget. So if we want to implement something, all we have to do is request here. Of particular note, finance is not one of the top 10 causes of stress for US teachers. Okay, by Samuel Sullivan. But last time I checked, I'm a US teacher, but financial stress is definitely one of the stresses. Anyways, so this is written or researched by Mr. Samuel Sullivan and was released last September 2020. So it's not surprising, right? Considering the amount of financial support the school system gives to its teachers. So in the US school setting, okay, each student is assigned a particular budget, okay, or each teachers, our salaries are already well paid, well ahead of time. Okay, it's already on the budget in the educational state board budget, be it in the state level or federal level or a school level. There's already budget set aside. In the Philippine setting, I remember being a son of a teacher and a grandson of two teachers. One is a principal. I remember they always complain that salaries comes in late. Imagine the stress, right? Well, so families operate in a budget. If your finances or if your salary does not come on time, okay, imagine the stress or the strain, okay, it provides to the teachers. So sometimes we lose focus, or a lot of times we lose focus when under stress. So it's important that a school, okay, for the sake of teachers, okay, should be financially or fiscally well managed. Next, for the district, state, federal, school boards or private school boards, okay, they have a mandate to uphold. So they have to ensure the timely delivery of school funding. Not only that, the importance of oversight and transparency. Of course, right? These school boards, be it in federal, district, or school level, they don't, they're not the owner of that money. Okay, so comes from taxpayers for public settings. In private, it comes from investors, right? So that's why there should be oversight and transparency, just like with the principal, right? What I mentioned a while ago, they cannot just decide how much budget to allocate in something or some activity. Okay, it needs approval, which is basically this is the mandate of the district and school boards, district, state, federal school boards. Okay, so fund availability, okay, allows school to operate in timely manner without restriction. So the school board just should make sure, okay, make sure that the money, okay, or the school is well funded. So the importance of liquidating taxpayers' money for public or to shareholders for private. Of course, if you are a private investor in a school, right, you don't invest in something without returns. So that's the mandate of private school boards. Make sure that the money is spent properly and there are returns. Next, obviously, right? The main focus in a school are the students. So better outcomes including higher test scores, okay, increased graduation rates, and improved indicators of student achievement. So this was according to Carmel Martin and together with Boser, Ms. Benner, okay, in their article, A Quality Approach to School Funding. So they mentioned, when school districts spend money wisely, they have better outcomes, including higher test scores, increased graduation rates, and other improved indicators of student achievement. More money also help ensures that students have schools with better facilities and more curriculum options. This has clear implications of the public school systems. A student who do not get their fair share of dollars do not get an equal chance to compete with their more advantaged peers. So some schools have different extracurricular activities depending upon their budget. So study shows that with more electives or more extracurricular activities, it helps with the well-being of the student. Okay. Not only test scores, but primarily their emotional, social well-being as well. Next. So thank you, okay, about that one. Of course, particular note also, inequalities, okay, go beyond money, right? For instance, inner school districts, inner city school district like Baltimore City is one of the highest funded school district, not only in Maryland, but also in the US, right? But unfortunately, okay, most often than not, it does not reflect on the test scores. Some lower budgeted, lower funded school district have better test scores because there are other factors that we need to consider. So as a request, I want to, in the chat box, aside from the financial factor, please share other factors that can affect student academic performance. You know, this was discussed by Dr. Tamayao in one of her presentations, right? With partnership with DepEd or SHED, right? So most of us still remember that talk. Now, while you are putting your input, okay, or sharing your input in the chat box, so let me just share something. Okay. This was this one factors. This let me briefly cover this one. The factors affecting student academic performance. This was written by Mr. Mushtaq and Mr. Khan, right? There are two types of factors that affect the student academic performance. Oh, just like Dr. Tamaya's presentations. There are internal and external classroom factors. And these factors strongly affect the student performance. So when you talk about internal factors, it includes student competence in English, class schedules, class size, English textbooks, class test results, learning facilities, homework, environment of the class, complexity of the course materials, teachers' roles in the class, technology used in the class, and exam systems. So why English? Okay, because this is one of the primary tested area and mode of instructions, right? So I guess that's why they cover it in the research or findings. The external factors, classroom factors, include extracurricular activities, family problems, work and financial, social, and other problems. So that's primarily the issues, okay, confounding our inner city students, right? Their social and family background. So a lot of them are raised by a single parent or raised by their grandparents without proper family support. Okay, let's move on. Next, for the parent, the stakeholder. Next, parents, this helps ensure that parents will have lesser to no financial burden in educating their child. So provide financial relief, particularly to low-income families. So if the students is already well, some schools, because they are well-funded, they provide materials like book bags, even uniforms. So imagine, right, for low-income family, that helps a lot. Okay. In most cases, in some cases in public school system in the US, especially in bigger school districts, the students are all already provided with these materials. Okay, now all they need to do is show up, right, and be present because they are well funded. In the Philippines, okay, not only in the US, there are different laws to ensure proper delivery of education, right? So let me just briefly cover. So now, as a disclaimer, I'm not an expert of law, but I'm just gonna read through what these laws imply, okay, and what are its uses. When you talk about Republic Act 6655, okay, also known as the Free Public Secondary Education Act of 1988. It is the policy of the state to provide for a free public secondary education to all qualified citizens and to promote quality education at all levels. Okay. Next, the RA, Republic Act 10931, Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education. So Free Higher Education Act, okay, 18931, or universal access to ensures that government's full subsidy to students who intend to earn tertiary or technical vocational education. So if I'm not mistaken, this was enacted during the time of President Duterte, right? Free tertiary education or vocational education. Next, Republic Act 6728, Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act. So if a student is, so as long as they qualify, okay, and they want to pursue private education, so they can always apply using this public act. Okay, so amendments to 6728 are made by Republic Act 8545. What are these amendments? Okay, it provides government assistance to students and teachers in the private education in the form of supplements in their tuition fees. Next. So next, in the US side, the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, just a brief summary, or also known as the FAPE, Free Appropriate Public Education, is an educational entitlement of all students in the United States guaranteed by the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. So under that, so that the idea or the Individuals with Disability or Education Act ensures that all children with disabilities are entitled to a free, appropriate public education to meet their unique needs and prepare them for further educations, employment, and independent living. So again, even if they have unique needs or special needs, right? They are covered with this law. So next, what does the 14th Amendment say about education? The 14th Amendment what brought up one of the cases in Texas, right? While education may not be a fundamental right under the Constitution, if you check on the Constitution, education is not included, but it is briefly what protected by the 14th Amendment. The Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment requires that when a state establishes a public school system, no child living in that state may be denied equal access to schooling. Any treatment of education and constitutional rights must begin with the 14th Amendment, which guarantees every citizen's equal protection under the law. So it becomes controversial in Texas, wherein some are complaining that illegal immigrants are being educated. So, but they are protected if they are a resident, if their child is a resident of that state, they should avail or they should receive same public education availed by other citizens. So, next, stakeholder, the society, right? That's the purpose of school system, right? We educate the next generation so that they can be what? They can contribute to society. So an educated citizenry, a model and law-abiding citizens. Although it's not a given, but study shows that a well-educated individual tend to be more law-abiding. So the society will be able to welcome or expect a workforce-ready citizen upon graduation. Of course, they are trained already. So all they need to do is further professional development, okay, or training, okay, to be highly efficient. But if you graduate in an education institution and provided you work in your chosen field of education or field of endeavor, you should be able to function and contribute to society right away. So a society can have citizens who have purchasing power secondary to having jobs. Of course, if they are hired because of their credentials, because of their skills, they'll be paid with salary, and that salary will directly go back to society. Okay, when you spend your money, okay, economy grows. So this is covered by the positive externalities, okay, as discussed by Nick Ranjo in his article, right? The effect of education to society. Okay, that ends my discussion. If you have some more questions, please feel free to put it in the chat box and we'll try to answer it at the end of the group discussion. Have a nice one. Bye for now.